Citizens of this beautiful past nation, brothers and sisters, welcome back to yet another one from us. We are back to you with news from Benin, and I just don't know how to categorize this news, whether to be excited, whether to just leave it to you guys to decide, because I know that this is going to affect at least 90% of our viewers, because most of you are from the diaspora. This is what is currently happening in Benin. So Benin has proposed law to grant citizenship to African descendants. Whether it's good news or bad news or just news, you will let me know in the comment section down below. So, the Beninese government led by President Patrice Talon has submitted a bill to parliament to grant Beninese citizenship to individuals of African descent. According to the government, this bill seeks to strengthen cultural and historical ties with the descendants of Africans deported during the slave trade, addressing the deep wounds on African societies in general and on the descendants of those deported and enslaved in particular. The KOACI, RFI, and the General Secretariat of the Government of Benin state that the proposed law offers Beninese citizenship by recognition to individuals who can prove their sub-Saharan African ancestry and whose ancestors were victims of forced removals from the continent during the transatlantic slave trade. The bill postulates that an Afro-descendant is any person who, according to their genealogy, has sub-Saharan African ancestry deported outside the African continent as part of the slave trade. To be eligible, applicants must provide evidence of their African descent through civil status documents, authenticated testimonies, or DNA tests conducted by accredited institutions in Benin. The bill states that proof of Afro-descendants is provided by the applicant by means of any civil status or official documentation. All testimonies established by authentic deed, a DNA test carried out by an approved structure in Benin, or any other technical or scientific means. However, it is essential to note that this recognition of nationality does not grant political rights, such as the right to vote or access to civil service positions. Successful applicants will receive a 3-year Benin passport, but to obtain a naturalization certificate, they must stay in the country few days before their passport expires. The statement from the General Secretariat of the government explains that this measure aims to allow African descendants to reconnect with their roots and maintain a living link with the land of their ancestors. It recognizes that most Afro-descendants wish to find a link with their original kingdoms, with the republics which replaced them. The government hopes this law will encourage African descendants to invest in the country and participate in its socio-economic development. The Beninese parliament is reviewing the bill and preparing to vote on it. If adopted, this legislation would place Benin among a selected few African countries that allow citizenship by descent beyond the first generation. If the bill passes, Benin will join Liberia, Sierra Leone, Sudan, South Sudan, Eritrea, Rwanda, and Zambia as the only African nations that grant citizenship by descent to third-generation dependents and beyond. This is just a mouthful. So, Patrice Talon and his government, and they are still proposing a bill that Afro-descendants can have a home in Benin. I don't know how to really react on this news because of what has been happening in Benin. Like currently, there's Benin and Niger, neighbors, brothers, not seeing eye to eye. Niger is trying by all means to remove itself from colonialism and colonial slavery and neo-colonialism. And then on the other hand, we have Benin, who is still playing along with his colonial master. So I don't know how to really react on this. It's a very beautiful thing, a very beautiful move by Benin if it comes to pass. But we have an issue with Benin. Until Benin is fully liberated, until Benin can stand on itself and say, we are doing things according to our ways, our will, and we are doing things that will benefit our people, without hearing from masters, colonial whatever. So until then, that is when I can freely say, wow, brothers and sisters, please consider this. Go and do this DNA test or whatever they are telling you to do for you guys to come back and have a home in Benin. But until then, for me, it's just, Benin needs to fix a lot in its closet. There's just too much happening in Benin that really would not be of benefit to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. You want to relocate to a place where you know that if I was to invest in this place, my people will benefit, the Beninese population will benefit from this. I am here to serve my people. I'm not here to serve somebody's master. So, Benin, clean up your home first before you can call people to come. How do you invite people to your home when your home is so dirty? You know, in African tradition and culture, if you have visitors, for example, even if it's your children or your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren coming to visit you in your home, you make sure that everything is on point. If it's the rooms, the house, the yard, the compound, everything needs to look clean and neat. You just can't let people come to your home without, preparing and cleaning up. Clean up. If there's a mess somewhere, you make sure that you clean up. Actually, you cannot even rest until you know that everything is on par. So with this mess that is currently happening in Benin and them playing on a side where we are trying to run away from, where Africa is trying to liberate itself from, I don't know, brothers and sisters, you are the ones to tell me that if given this opportunity, well, if the law passes, would you take it? Would you consider Benin? Or you are just like me, saying, well, just clean up your country first and then we can now consider, because how do I invest in a country where I know that Emmanuel Macron still plays a very pivotal role in the governance of that country? I don't know, guys. I don't know what you feel about this. It could have been very beautiful news for me. Well, that is, if everything in Benin was in order. But with whatever is happening right now, them blocking Nigerian crude oil, I don't know. Maybe they just need to fix themselves first, try and work together with their brothers and harmonize the situation on the ground before they can invite people to come back home. That is all that I have to say. But we have seen Ghana doing the same during the year of return. A lot of Afro-descendants really came back home during that time, and people have settled in Ghana. People are loving it in Ghana. Some couldn't stay there for long. Some decided to go back, maybe for reasons like this, because how do you invite people into your country when you have not cleaned up the mess? So to avoid situations where people will come in their numbers. I know that brothers and sisters are looking of places in Africa to come back and to reconnect with their ancestors, but you can't just bring them back and then they find themselves in such a mess. So clean it up. And I don't know, some will say these brothers and sisters must come. They are the ones who are going to help with the cleaning up of Benin. That could be a view from others, but for me, and me being the traditional African that I am, I know that if somebody is visiting your home or if somebody is coming to stay at your home, you need to make sure that it's clean before. You can't say, my visitor is coming, she'll help me clean up. No, you don't do that. You're a visitor for a few days, then after that, you are now not a visitor in an African home. But I don't know how you are taking this news. We've seen a lot of our brothers and sisters from America who, have visited some countries in Africa and have been granted citizenship. We have seen Ludacris, for example, going to Gabon and being given a Gabonese citizenship. We've seen Tiffany Haddish. She went to Eritrea and she was given, I think her roots are also in Eritrea. She was granted citizenship in Eritrea. So some might know, it might be easy for some to know their ancestry. Some might really need to look at ways in which they can discover where they came from in Africa. And Benin is saying that you have to prove. If it's doing a DNA test, you will do it. If it's if it's getting documents to prove that you are indeed a descendant from sub-Saharan Africa, especially from their country, you will have to prove that. So it's not just a matter of coming and relocating like Ghana had did it. This one has more structures than what we have seen in the past. So brothers and sisters, let me know what you think about this. Would you consider relocating to Benin, especially with the way things are right now? I don't know. I feel like it's a good move, but Benin needs to really clean up the mess in their home before they can invite our brothers and sisters to come back home, because we don't want a situation where people come in, people are excited to come back home, and then you find that so many things are just messed up. You can't even, you just can't stay in that place for long. So now you're updated with what is happening in Benin. Let me know what you feel about this. Would you consider, or what's the feeling really about the news that are coming in from Benin? I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like the video, comment, like, share, subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And if you'd like to support us in any financial way, we have a link of buying us a coffee. Buy me a coffee link on the description down below. You can buy us 1 coffee, 2 coffees, 3 coffees, as many as you want. 1 coffee goes for $5, and we will appreciate all your kindness. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.